Do you guys know what's the most successful commercial research paper in the world? I want to say because that research, you guys use it every single day, many times a day. And it's a deep tech thing, it's a deep tech question, basically. They were trying to solve, so basically there's these two guys, they were trying to solve a thing. How do we know which website is relevant? And that research was called backrub. Backrub eventually became Google. So it was a research paper by Sergey Brin and Larry Page. And so there's actually a lot of potential for deep tech. And so we have two amazing people here, Shimala and Firdaus, which I think we were joking behind that they are like the pioneer batch in terms of how we're going to spearhead deep tech in Malaysia, especially from a USM standpoint. Maybe can you explain a bit what you guys do in terms of your business? Let's start with Shimala.
Okay, thank you very much. By profession, I'm a material engineer. So I have a lot of innovation. My job is basically, how to come up with the products to do things that you're supposed not to do, So I like to play with them. So I have a series of products at that point of time, and my aim was how to bring this and put it in the market, yeah? So at that point of time, if you talk about USM ecosystems, the only model that they have is licensing. That means you give your baby to someone, and they take the further journey, and you say bye-bye to them. So that was not the preferred model that I want, because I have a pipeline of products that I want to put in the market, So that was a stumbling block, in terms of governance was a problem for me. So after that, when they opened the gate in 2020, I guess we are the pioneer to, form a startups from USM. So, now we have vehicles to, to start our journey. And my first product was more on nanotechnology coatings, which I noticed at that time, this pandemic was, really, it's close to my heart because my father passed away because of COVID. Okay?
Sorry to hear that.
So I could not do the ritual for my dad because, they isolate him in the hospital, and it's totally a different scenario for me. That really impacted me so much. And I said, I have this in my hand. Why not? It's in the market there to serve, to save the mankind. So that's where I really go to the ground and, make sure this in the market. So that's how my journey starts to say, okay, now I'm very happy, but the thing is, when it comes to deep tech, it's quite different compared to, different nature of business, because you really need to, have certain patience to nurture them, to get a right strategic partners to align so that they can go to the market in a faster speed. Okay, that's myself. Probably Firdaus can share his
Mr. Firdaus.
Hi, thanks. I couldn't find my tudung to replace Dr. Nur Elmi. Okay, myself from School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So myself, I have my own spin-off company called Viability Cinema. It's 3 years old now. How do I start is basically because we have been engaged with many industrial projects, which we started with, we call it as a PPRN, Public-Private Research Network. So once we develop the solution for the companies and we deliver to them, then the next question they ask is, who's going to support, who's going to maintain it, who's going to do the after-sales services, which university herself not able to do so because we don't provide warranty. University don't provide warranties. University do not provide after-sales services, right? So that's where I came up with the idea that I should venture into this. We start with forming a company. Then we start to do this kind of services to the company. So myself, before forming a company, I already have like a so-called like a paid client. Means that it started with problem statement. We have a problem. Industry wants a solution. We develop the solution. Once we develop the solution, I replicate the same things for the other companies. So basically what I'm doing is we develop a manufacturing execution system. Basically, it's a digital platform where we digitalize the entire operation of the production from receiving raw material up to the point that you ship your finished good. So we have several modules. At the moment, we have several paid clients. So this is what we are doing.
So one of the big misconception about like investing in deep tech is basically product market fit, because they always think like, oh, it takes a lot of money, which is true, because there are certain products that really requires a lot of investment to actually go in R&D to commercialization. Like, how do you guys achieve product market fit so soon? Basically, because like you started in 2020 and yours was also around the same time. Like, what make you realize that whatever you guys are doing has market potential?
Okay, first thing is market analysis. Yeah, as usual, like we pitch, right? We have to find the market fit. So who is really hunger for the solutions that you're going to provide for what you have? So if you find the right partner to come on board, then things are much easier. You know, to be frank with you, I was not making much in the first year, second year. You know, but now what happened was I could find a right industry partner where potentially he will be using my product as an active ingredient in his pipeline. He already have existing customers. He have existing customers. So this is what I said, how to get a right partner on board with you when you talk about deep tech, because I don't deny, the researchers in the universities, brain-wise, they're super duper brain, but when it comes to business, I would like to admit that we are not the expert in that field.
Well, you guys are too close to the problem to realize the solution.
Yes. So we need to have a diverse expertise, I don't deny that, but how to plug diverse expertise in your team and find a right partners to collaborate with, because because myself is a material engineer, when it comes to my kind of products, his is different, digitalizations. So this kind of products, we need to have production line. You want a production line, you want to set up one, it's dollar and cents. You need big monies. So it's rather than you try to get everything done by yourself, as some of the panel have said, outsource. You can outsource it for the early stage until you can stand on your leg, and then you can have your own, I would say, these are the things like, we are facing at the ground. And for me, finding a right partner to collaborate with is very important for the deep tech to reach out to the market in a faster rate.
So I just want to go to Ash. So the traditional model, as you mentioned earlier, was to license, basically. So you do your research, you have a patent, and you license out. Can you elaborate a bit on how much would you potentially make, how much percentage or royalties, or what's the business model around it compared to what you guys are doing now?
Okay.
Firdaus?
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. So basically, that's the conventional model that we used to have in university back old days. This is what the two conventional models that we have. Once the researcher complete the research, then you file an IP. It could be a patent or copyright, any types of IP. Then we start to do like a matching where there is industry. So what is the two potential channel that we have is either license the technology or we do outright sales. So when we talk about the licensing, so what we observe back in, especially in USM, right? One thing is the negotiations, right? In terms of licensing fees plus royalty. Another thing is that once it is being licensed, another issue that we observe back in university is licensing fees, one thing, and getting the royalty back, because it's very difficult to get people, especially when they have more than one businesses. How do we derive the royalty? So that's another thing. And in terms of outright sale, yes, another issue that we have with in terms of outright sale is in terms of after sales support. Once technology is being transferred, they still need the brain. They still need the support from the researchers. So this is where we have come up with another channels now, where the researchers can do the businesses by themselves. So instead of license the technology to the other party, which again, they will be relying back to you, or the outright sale, which will come back to you again. So why not? You form a company, you run the business, you straight find the client. So what we are doing now is The technology still belongs to university because whatever that being derived from the university, the IP will belong to the university. Of course, the inventor is the researchers. And this technology will be licensed to their company to run businesses. So this is the another channels that we are exploring. And what we saw in the past, basically in the USM itself, past 2 years, we see more product being commercialized through spin-off rather than the conventional method. So that is a success story that we have, past 2 years, because spin-off itself in USM, it's the ecosystem itself, it's only 3 years old now.
So I like the whole spin-off concept, and I'm not too foreign towards actually university funding, basically. I was one of the first startup that was funded by MMU back in the day, and the university took 45% of my company. What is the current situation like? Like, do you feel the university? I know you have something to say about this. Do you feel like like it is deserve it, or do you want to find ways to actually bring it out from the university, like, or what could be done better?
Yeah, I'd say lucky for USM researchers because we having our own startup, so we know the journey, how tough it is, and equity is one of the cards that we hold to raise funds. So we often discuss at the top managements. We managed to keep it within 10 to 20% of equity holding by USM. Okay, we don't want more than that because we don't want to handcuff them, because there's one means for them to raise funds. So what we do in USM ecosystems, when they submit the business proposal, we normally will try to validate that. We always ask them to say whether you have first pay customers through uSigns. Have you ever tested whether the other customers want your product or not? So we will see whether they have sales records and all that. And then we also see the financial sustainability, from their proposals and whether they have a market fit product. So there's a few criteria normally we will actually evaluate. And if all of them is a green light, then we have do 2 screening. The second screening we call the external stakeholders. I've invited Cradle to be there as well. So this is where we do a tough screening to see whether they can stand, financially they can sustain or not when they run the show. So, it's a learning cycle. We see there's a lot of things coming on board. Slowly we are trying to polish the way of we doing things at university. But yeah, as you said, now we don't want to be the tiger to harm them in the early stage. So maximum 20% now. Okay, we were lucky. Ours only 5% they are holding.
Yeah, I think 5% is such a good deal.
That's how nice USM to us.
Yeah, no, which is actually very good because it's very entrepreneur forward, basically. And the thing that I really respect about you guys is like, you guys are not only entrepreneurs, not only researchers, and also lecturers. Like, I'm so amazed at how do you all divide your time and energy among like those are not even your multiple hats that you guys hold still. How do you actually like spend time to actually complete your supposedly day job and including your side activities with the universities and actually build a company? Fidaus?
Thank you very much. This is the common question that normally we get once we say that we are spin-off. In fact, I have one question just now from the same questions on that one. How do we practice the work-life balance? Actually, it's not balanced, to be honest. So I'm not a believer of work-life balance. It's basically I'm a believer of a priority model. So, and I make sure that everyone understands this priority model. So again, coming back to your questions, yes, it's very difficult managing, especially when you have a management role and become a lecturer and at the same time managing business as well. So that's why, as Prof has mentioned, that you have to have the right people in your team, especially in a business where you can look after the marketing. Of course, you are looking after the R&D, you have CEO. That's what we always encourage for our spin-off, to have external people to be as a CEO of the company, right? That is one thing. And another thing is that we also encourage from the governance perspective is USM also consider like giving a sabbatical leave for the founders to go and establish a good business and everything. So at the moment we have a year's sabbatical leave to your own startup, and we are also we are proposing to have like 1+1.
So the sabbatical is basically take full responsibility of running the company, and then for the research and for the teaching, that is you guys are on leave and just focus on the company.
Yes, you will be released from the teaching and research. Yeah.
I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, Enterprise at NUS has something very similar that goes up to 2 years basically. Is there a significant idea why that duration is critical?
I mean, definitely in the early stage, what we notice is most of the time when they come to form a company, they seems to be sitting around with their friends, the same, researchers that they've been working with, because we encourage multidisciplinary kind of, working relationship at USM. So when they come to form the company, it will be all of them are technologists, Very rare I see they take, experts from School of Management to take care of the marketing, School of Business to look into the strategic planning. Very rare, okay? So in order for them to do that, they have to go series of accelerator programs, to change the mindset of doing things, It's not no more guys sitting in the same group. You really need a diverse expertise in there. So in order for them to realize that, sometimes they have to learn in a very hard way. When you just say they don't listen, sometimes they have to fall and then wake up and then, okay, time to get changed. So all these are crucial moments. Now the ecosystem is ready there. Cradle is offering this kind of accelerator program. Marante is doing it. But often we are tied up with our core job. Okay, you have to teach. You are the one do research. You are the one doing the management part. Hello, guys. Where do I find the time to go for this kind of committed, program, step by step until you secure the fund? So time seems to be a very crucial thing for researchers.
Yeah.
Okay?
Agreed.
Second, talent. Third, business network. So if to do all this, fourth, of course, the governance. So these are the issues that we have to unlock and free them from that so that they can focus on what they're doing, so that they can actually accelerate in much faster rate, So that's why we feel that the 2 years are very crucial for them to go and acquire enough knowledge to penetrate the market, or try to find a right partner on board to drive their company.
So you mentioned just now about finance and investment. And what are the big misconceptions about investing in deep tech? Because that's something that a lot of VCs might not be A, too familiar with. B, they think like, okay, I'm going to take too long for my ROI to be there. And C is like, I rather focus on people who build apps and like get my quick returns. And that's something that I can see in consumer. What are your advice towards for investors to start looking at deep tech?
Right, okay, yes. So that is part of the requirement as well. Like in the USM itself, we have a requirement saying that those are especially coming from deep tech, right? So in order to allow them to form a company and run the business, we say that you must at least at the TRL of 5, means that you have at least an ugly prototype. That's one of the requirements. The other requirement that we have is on the IP. Whether you have IP, is it protected? So once they are ready, then only we allow them to form a company. So those people coming with deep tech, with TRL 5, right? Normally we encourage them to go for like a developmental grants. We have cradles, we have grants from MOSTI, TED 1, TED 2, and we encourage them to tie it up with the industry as well for the development. So then only we encourage them to go to find more on an investment type of funding. So as you mentioned, like those things, those other products, like they already have a TRL 8 or TRL 9, the product is ready, certification is done. So those things that we will push for a bigger grant or for a bigger financial. We do have like startups working on deep tech, on like profs herself, like we have on a hygiene product, right? Those which is already proven, already get the certification, then we go for investment kind of grants. But like those who are in a developmental stage, we encourage for R&D grants. So that is what the common practice that we have in USM.
If I may add to that,
Sure.
we also try to revamp the way we're doing things. For example, we have PPRN grant, as what Dr. Firdaus mentioned just now, where the KPT will pump in certain amount of money, and the industry have to pump in certain amount of money to solve the problem the industry is facing. I guess this platform is beautiful, where working relationship with a partner is very important to understand each other, and that platform allows to do it. And at the end of the day, you're giving a solution which will be adapted by the industry immediately. So there's a technology know-how transfer in there. Okay, this is another mode of commercialization that we are seeing, but rather it's not like a startup. Probably what they can do is they can form a JV model of startups from USM with this kind of industry and take further. So it's a matter of how we want to have a different kind of models to come on board. I guess the PPRN that the government have now is a fantastic one where we can actually grow up many startups from there.
So this is credit to Dr. Melissa Fu from Sunway iLabs. There's this company which is called Origin. Basically, it's ORIGGIN. What they do is venture co-creation where they partner up with researchers that do deep tech, and they hire people to commercialize them, form a company where the researchers still have a founding stake of the company. So my question is, what are the other models you see around the world that you wish, like if a wish list, let's say if for Malaysia to become the center of deep tech commercialization in the world, what's your best wish that in different models that we should adopt?
To be frank with you, I know the same question
Frank is somewhere there.
I know the same question was posed to me by someone. To be frank, there's no one perfect model can fit university. You need to understand we are from different verticals. Medical have different way of doing things. You got to do all the preclinical, the regulatory requirement itself will kill you. Trust me, you get damn frustrated. Sorry. But this is what's happening on the ground. You get very frustrated when these regulatories are very much on book rather than looking into the new innovations that in the market that where they can hold hand together, try to certify it up to the matrix level, FDA, CE, everything, so that it can go cross-boundary. So the thing is, we have everything, but it is not aligned perfectly to bring the technology from lower TRL level to the commercial deployment. So how to align them properly so that all the certification bodies will come, the industry will come as the OEM, and the matrices are there for the X1 market, the fundings will come like Cradle. How to align this where my output will be an input for the next stakeholders. So that end of the day, we know how many has gone cross-boundary. So this is the challenges that we have. We cannot utilize and maximize fully because they are rather scattered and have their own personal agenda to achieve. So that is my personal opinion, I feel. There's no one perfect model.
No.
But the success rate I see when there are industry in the market can pair up, the chances for them to expedite their growth is very high. So I would say JV model for now.
Okay. I do agree. There's definitely, especially in terms of the medical research, the time for commercialization is tremendous. So, just a final thought if you were to address to future researchers who want to commercialize their business or investors that will look into deep tech, what is one advice each of you who want to give?
All right. Thank you very much. So if we see the ecosystem that we have now, like the commercialization ecosystem in Malaysia itself, like we have people from Ranti, we have Mosti, and we have Cradles, we have several agencies and everything. It looks almost perfect, right? And especially for the deep tech, one of the challenges that normally the researchers, especially product is coming from the research university, is to go to the market, to penetrate to the market, how this industry can take up the solutions. Although there is solutions which is similar outside their commercial market, even in the international market, right? So what I'm hoping is like, if the governments can provide like some kind of tax incentive for this deep tech, which is coming from university, that would be very good. We do have like some of the tax incentive, what we call as a double tax exemptions for those industries who are giving, outsourcing their work, R&D works to university. So if we can have a similar kind of better taxes for those people who are taking up the deep tech, that will be very good. Yep.
I mean, being in a TTO office, my office is Center of Innovation and Consultation. We have this program called InnoCoal where we gather around 50 TTO officers. We all seems to be having same problem, market validation. I have 90 in technology in my cold storage. I want to bring it out, but I need to validate which one have a very good market traction.
Can I come and capo? I want to just see anything I can
I
commercialize.
don't have money to do it. Okay? When I call someone to do market validation, well, it's 20,000, 30,000. I don't have that money in my TTO office to do it, to be frank. So now comes like how TTO office can generate income so that I have the levy to do things, you know. Now we are dependent on the top management, how much, and the budget is, you know, as time goes by, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and that really handcuffs us from doing a lot of things. First thing, market validation. To change the MVP to market fit product is the biggest challenge that we are facing for deep tech.
So we're actually running out of time. So if there's any questions for our panelists, if not, they are here. You can always engage them offline. If you want to look into their treasure trove of IPs and research, feel free to just reach out to them. And thank you very much for this. Really appreciate your time and your insights for actually sharing how can we actually push deep tech forward in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Well, if there's any investors interested in, you know, medical line engineering products, do contact us. We have a lot in our pool.
Thank you. Thank you very much.